and a lot more healthier for the environment. Helpful hints. That's why we went to the paint shack. Although all that, I hope you're all well. Thanks for joining me again on this video. Today we're going to be looking at water-based paints, mainly by Caparol, a German company that is stocked and sold by Paint Shack in Windlesham. Over the last 5-10 years, water-based technology has really come alive, and it's, you know, equal, if not better, than oil-based paints. I know that's controversial, and I'll probably get a few comments about that. But anyway, join us when we look at Caparol paints from the Paint Shack. But that's all coming up after this.
He's here with Steve, the better half of the Paint Shack crew, and he's going to run us through a few of the products that are sort of their bread and butter, run-of-the-mill products that they sell almost every day. Is that right, Steve?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so just the main products that we do. Just run through exactly what they do, where you can use them. Probably start with the half primer. So the whole reason Paint Shack exists, you know, it's in my opinion, best primer undercoat, adhesion primer undercoat you can buy. You know, it sticks to absolutely everything. It's easy to use, whether you brush roller or spray. It dries very, very quickly, 2 to 4 hours, and you're ready to go on normal conditions. Plastics, PVC, windows, melamine, galvanized, you know, it will stick to absolutely everything.
Forgetting the most important one.
Wood.
MDF, it sticks to that like poo to a blanket. I've not known anything that sticks to that more. It's brilliant.
One coat, you know, over MDF, the opacity is incredible. It really does blow most things out of the water. It's fully tintable as well, which most people aren't aware of. So any colour you want the top coat, we can tint the half primer to as well. So 750ml, 2.5, so the tintable. If you want a bigger size, we do keep 10 litres in white as well. Yeah, it's one of the items that's part of the bundle deal. So the bulk deal.
And what you've got to remember is it's not an undercoat, it's an adhesion primer. It's a mistake I made for ages, thinking it was like an undercoat, expecting it to cover. And it does cover, but it's not an undercoat, is it? It's an adhesion primer.
It's an adhesion primer undercoat. It's all in one. So, you know, it will do everything. You can use it over old yellow, you know, gloss or solvents, you know, to whiten out. The whiteness of it is good. The opacity of it is good. And to be honest with you, if you're using it with the PU range, then you can even mix it together if you want to do a 50-50, and it will boost the opacity of the PU satin.
So if you were doing that, what would be the sort of, what's the correct procedure if you're using like PU satin and half prime together?
Yeah, I mean,
it's a 3-coat system, isn't it?
It is a 3-coat system internally. We're always going to say 4 coats outside, 2 primers and 2 top coats, because you need that build thickness to give you the life expectancy and the durability. But internally, you know, you're going over a rough work where you've had to sand and prep and fill, then a neat half primer. Personally, 50-50 mix, intermediate coat, mid coat, and then a neat top, and that gives you a really nice finish. The mix will vary. Everyone will have a different ratio where they think is better. I know Cole likes 70-30, and you know, and everything in between. So it's really about finding the way that it works best for you, whether you want more shine or more opacity in your intermediate coat. So,
and then are we going to get into the sort of chemistry of warming up the paint before you apply it? Is that something you want to talk about or not?
It varies. Everybody's different. Warming the paint up basically gives you more viscosity. It basically, instead of thinning the product down, if you warm it up, you achieve the same goal. So, yes, warming it up is always going to work. Personally, I think you should use it the way that the data sheets state, which is room temperature.
Why would you do that?
Well, yeah, I know.
Exactly.
Room temperature, 20 degrees, 5% water. and that will give you the best thing. If you want it, if it's cold, then warm the paint up. Yeah, if it's a winter's day, it's been in the van, then warming the paint up is always going to be better than thinning it, because once the paint does get warm, it will be too thin if you add water to it. So there are pluses and minuses to both.
So that's pretty much half prime covered.
Yeah.
Is it half? Half.
You say
potato, I say potato.
I've always said half primer. Yeah, I mean, Caparol's got some weird and wonderful names. It just kind of does. None of them mean anything, not even in German, to be honest with you. They're all just made up names. So, yeah, it's just, you got to get used to them. Once you use them, it's fine. So probably...
And it is well worth getting used to their names, because they are really good products. Moving on to...
PUs.
Satin?
Yeah, so the PU, it's a little bit of a Marmite product. There's a few people out there that haven't got on with it. There's a lot of people that do and love it. It's a polyurethane, pure water base. It's not a hybrid. It won't yellow. You can use it on wood and metal, inside and out. And it's a hard-wearing top coat. Compared to standard acrylics, satins that you can buy from the brands that we all know, it's much tougher. It's more than suitable. It's perfect for kitchen cupboards, reworks. You know, it's a very, very good, very, very tough product. Sprays, brushes and rolls. It comes in 3 versions. So you've got the PU matte, which is what we would call eggshell. We've got PU satin, which is by far the most popular, and it is only 20% sheen, so it's quite a low sheen satin. And then you've got the PU gloss, which is about 65% sheen. The satin and the gloss are internal and external for wood and metal, and the PU matte is internal only for wood and metal. But again, tintable, 750ml, 2.5s in colours. We keep the satin in 10s for white as well. So the half prime is generally internal 2 to 4 hours. If you're outside and it's cold and it's wet or it's damp, then it's going to take longer. Anything up to 12 hours. Internally, 2 to 4 hours for the half primer, 4 to 6 hours for the top coat, and you're good to go.
The normal way we've been using it is to put the half primer on, then do a mixed coat of the half and the satin on one day, and then go back the following day when it's overnight to cure off, and then put the full top coat of satin. Is that right? Yeah,
that's right. And you know, just denib. You don't have to sand it back to where you started, which, you know, is a habit of old and a lot of generation decorators. We do the bulk deal as well on the whites, so we do the half primer and the satin. You can buy multiples, 2 if you buy 1 of each or 2 of the same for 30 quid. No matter how many you buy, up from that you get 30 quid including the VAT for a 2.5. We can't do it on colours, I'm afraid, because they are a little bit more. But yeah, so, and that is what we, you know, our biggest seller. We sell more of the bulk deal, the whites, than we do of anything else.
And can you get this in 10 or not, or is it just 2.5s?
The satin you can get in 10s, but only in white.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, yeah, I mean, the thing with the half primer and the satin is, you know, get it on. The whole point of half primer being an adhesion primer undercoat is you don't need to scratch the surface up too much to get it on. You know, it will literally stick to, chemically and mechanically stick to pretty much all surfaces with very little prep. It just needs to be clean and dry, you know, just basic prep.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I think these two together work in a pretty good combination, don't they? There's never too many problems with them at all. And then I've found it's worked really well.
They're not. They've been around for years. It's not like they're new products. I mean, both of them have been around probably for 15, 20 years. The technology's just taken a while to get over to the UK. As with everything, we're just behind.
Yeah.
You know, this stuff's been around in Europe for a long time.
And shall we move on to what you've got on your side, Dan and Steve?
Yeah, so we thought we'd talk about the 2 biggest selling emulsions for us. We got the Amphibolin, which is a minefield to explain. Every time I explain it, it changes because it just does so much stuff. It's a matte finish. It's a 10% sheen. It can be used on all surfaces, inside and out. It can be used as a masonry, as an emulsion. It's perfect for bathrooms. It's perfect for your exterior garage wall. Breeze block brick, you know, it will go onto wood without a primer. It will stick to galvanized. It's brilliant for blacking out offices, industrial units. You know, you can paint. We've got customers that paint superstores. Absolutely everything in the superstore, inside and out with it. You know, it's fully tintable. It's a good price. Yeah, it's a great product. The only thing I wouldn't recommend you used it on is bare plaster, and that I'd just say use a contract first, because it's not overly breathable. So you need to put a product that will soak in and seal the surface first. But other than that, it's pretty much your go-to for every job.
It's one of those products that you need a tub of that in your van, because it will just get you out of all sorts of problems.
Yeah, I mean,
the only thing you can't really do with it, as I found out, is thin it too much. You can't.
Yeah, it doesn't like to be thinned. No, it's pretty much straight out of the tub, 5%. If you're spraying, you may get away with 10, but you don't lose the properties, you lose the opacity. In white, with all whites these days, the opacity is not quite as good as colours, but in colours, it's immense. So, you know, yeah, very, very good. It's stain resistant, it's scrub resistant, it's durable, it's moisture resistant, it's mould resistant. It is, you know, it is just a brilliant all-rounder.
And unlike other paint manufacturers, they actually do tell you what the scrub rating is, don't they? They've got tests and they've got figures that they publish to say.
Yeah, and it's, you know, it's a tough product, and it was originally designed as a masonry paint, so it had to have all the qualities of what you expect from a masonry. You know, it had to be weather resistant, it had to be elastomeric to cope with expansion and contraction. But they very quickly realised it was just so much better than what they originally created it for. And
this is the only product that I've found that you can put on distemper and it will hold it back. It just sticks. I don't know what it is in there, but you can find distemper, put it on there, and it just seals it up a treat. And I don't know why or what. It's just got some magical element in it. But yeah, distemper is the only thing that.
Yeah, and it's a funny thing, because if you read the data sheet's 9 pages long, and Caparol have really extensively researched the product, as in testing and productivity, as you say. They've done pretty much every test. Even there's one of the pages covers the adhesion and elastomeric properties after it's been painted onto how stretchy it is.
Thank you.
So. Once they've been painted it onto glass, and how it didn't crack or debond. So, you know, they really have. It's a proper tried and tested product, and again, it's been around and been in the Caparol portfolio for probably the best part of 30 years.
Yeah, so if you've got Zinza in your van and thinking that'll get you out of a few spots, you want to get some of that, because that will definitely get you out of the Zinza spots and more, won't it?
Yeah, I mean, even a matte finish on, if you want the walls and woodwork, the customer wants the walls, woodwork and radiator in a matte, all in the same finish, and they want a matte finish, then you could use Amphibolin. You literally, you know, it is the most universal product you'll find that's, in relation, it's a matte emulsion. So, yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it is. Like I say, it is like, I don't know, it's just brilliant. Finally, then we've got what we've got. So last of all,
last but not least is Premium Clean. So Premium Clean is a relatively new product. Came out about 10 years ago. When I first saw Premium Clean, it was at the Expo, the paint show in Germany, and Caparol being Caparol, they built an entire house as their stand, and every room they had, as you would, and you had different products. And Premium Clean was brand new, and they were very, very proud of it. And they were basically getting you to smear tomato ketchup and red wine or whatever, mustard, all over the walls, and then they would just wipe it off. And then they would leave stuff on, and we've done tests ourselves to know that this is true. We've done tests where we put red wine, mustard, biro, crayon, all in the same patch, and wiped and cleaned off and left on to dry.
The customers have been in the shop.
yeah, and it's a 6% sheen. It's for walls only. It's tougher than Amphibolin. It's harder wearing. It's a flatter sheen. It's a bulletproof product. There's a single pack emulsion for hall stairs and landings. You've got kids, dogs, and pets. Premium Clean. There isn't anything that gets any tougher. Yeah, interior walls, plaster walls, but it is the toughest wall emulsion, single pack wall emulsion you'll ever find in a matte finish.
And what's the scrub rating for it? Because
it's beyond scrub rating. So it's beyond the class 1. It passed the toughest test, which was over 2,000 scrubs. It lost less than 1 micron of a material. So there was no. It was what they call not sacrificial. There was no sacrifice made for the wall to become clean again. You basically removed the
product.
Removed the foreign body. It removed the foreign body rather than material to clean the wall, so you didn't get any polishing or shining. Tinting, it does let itself down slightly. It's only available in light to medium colours. We can't do dark colours. It's because there's too much colourant and therefore the paint can't perform or do the job that it needs to do. So Caparol decided that they wouldn't produce it in dark colours because it wouldn't do what it needed to do.
So this would be ideal for like commercial kitchens or...
Yeah, even in the data sheet, it states commercial kitchens, hotels, anywhere where you've got high traffic, high volume of wear, or corridors, hospitals, all that sort of stuff. It's recently now available in 2.5 litres, 5s and 12.5s. So it's a little bit more, better range of sizes now than it was.
Okay, well I think we've done quite well. We've gone through like the core range of what you do.
Yeah, I think the main products.
To add there, Steve? Or?
I mean, there's so much more. I mean, there's hundreds of products, and you could probably even talk about the ones that we have more. But I think it's a good guide to what Caparol is and does, and yeah.
So the best thing to do is look at your website, which is
paintshack.co.uk.
There you go.
Well, I hope you found that video helpful, and it gives you a little bit of an insight into the sort of products that Caparol Paints do supply. Paint Shack are a great source of help and information if you're looking to move maybe from oil-based and get into water-based, which is a good move. I think a lot of people are getting a little bit more environmentally conscious. There we go, got there in the end. That one should have been at the front. And also, it's just the better, cleaner way to carry out your day's work, I think. Steve is a great source of knowledge, and he's really helpful. The guys at the Paint Shack are amazing. We've been using them for a couple of years now without any problems at all. The only problem we had was my fault when I thinned down, as I said in the video, the blooming Amphibolin way too much, thinking it was like normal emulsion. Going in there, Billy Big Boo, yeah, and thinking I knew what I was doing when I didn't. So maybe it would have been a better option to read the data sheet and not go charging in there thinking that I knew everything. And turns out I didn't. If you found that interesting, you'll find one of these two videos helpful. One is spraying Amphibolin, and to be honest, I don't quite know what the other one will be. It might be putting Amphibolin on some is a good way to seal the surface. And like I say, the only problem does it. Anyway, it's time to ramble a bit. So, video, take care. Just see you guys soon.